Let's start this video out with a clip from Julia Childs. I'm not 100% confident that this is going to be a delicious cook. I don't know what the results are going to be. It didn't go exactly the way I planned it throughout the week. So I'm going to put this clip in the beginning and then you watch to the end to see how it came out and whether it was a success or a failure. Either way, at least we tried.
Now, one thing I think a lot of people are just so scared of any recipe they see that says sugar syrup or caramel, that they no, I won't do anything like that. And that is, I think, this is one of this awful American syndrome of fear of failure. And if you're going to have a sense of fear of failure, you're just never going to learn how to cook, because cooking is, well, lots of it is one failure after another, and that's how you finally learn. For instance, you've got to have developed what the French call je m'en foutisme, or I don't care what happens, the sky can fall and omelets can go all over the stove. I'm going to learn. I shall overcome. It's sort of woman's liberation, and I mean, everything like that. If you're not going to be ready to fail, you're not going to learn how to.
So now that Julia Childs has told us how to fail, we can see if we can maybe succeed here. So I'm just going to put some basic spices in this. Unfortunately, I could not get fennel for this porchetta, which would be the traditional way to make it. I substituted some star anise. I reduced the amount because it's a little bit stronger than fennel, but it works. It's okay. We'll see how it turns out in the end. So I'm going to pick some fresh thyme. I will leave a little bit of the stem in there with the thyme, as long as it's not real woody. Obviously, for the rosemary, you're going to want to get all the stem out of there. But for the thyme, if there's a little bit of that really thin stem, don't stress it. Don't pick every little leaf. You're just wasting time at that point. Chop up the herbs really fine. You got your fresh herbs. We got some garlic. We're going to put some cayenne, some paprika, because I put paprika in everything, salt, black pepper, and that's about it. And we're going to take that, and like I said, I would have put fennel in here, but we put anise instead, because I could not find fennel anywhere around me. So I'm going to smash up this garlic, cloves, pull out every clove, get rid of the paper. I don't cut the nubbins off the top unless they're really nasty or they're really hard looking. When you break the top of that garlic clove, it should take the majority of the hardwood piece out. If there is, I'll cut a piece off, but really I just smash it down really good, chop it up. You'll never know if it's chopped up properly. And we're gonna chop this up real fine, because I'm gonna put a lot of this in this porchetta, and I'm gonna spread it across the whole thing. It's an entire clove, so we're gonna get it really nicely chopped, fine chop. Smash it on the board a little bit if you need to get it to get some of the oils out too. And you're gonna get a really good chop, and we're good to go here. And once we get a decent chop there, we're good to go. We put it in a bowl, and we've got all of our seasoning ready, and we've got our pork. Now, unfortunately, this pork was not what I ordered. I'd ordered a loin and a belly. Unfortunately, I got these two beautiful, beautiful belly loins, but I only need one loin, and so we're going to take that other loin, and we're going to save that for later. Then I'm going to butterfly this out. Unfortunately, I was rushing this, and I nick the skin right there, which will affect this cook, and you'll see it later as we cook it, where I nick the skin, put a hole in it, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So now I've butterflied this open. I'm going to get rid of that other loin, because I'm going to use that to cook later. And we're just going to put a little olive oil in there. And then we're going to spread out our herbs, our spices. It's got anise again, fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, oregano, and cayenne, some salt, pepper, cumin, not cumin, no. And we're just going to spread out the garlic. Then we're going to spread out the herbs and spices. This is the mix of the spices and the herbs, and get a nice even coating. This is going to be rolled up, so be careful with your seasoning, because all of that's going to be in one roll. I came close to over seasoning this. I think that the garlic was pretty good. Some people might think it's a little heavy, but Honestly, I thought it came out really good, and it could have used a touch more salt, but it was pretty good. We're gonna let this cure up overnight as well. So now put a nice layer of good black pepper in there. Fresh cracked black pepper would be better, but I have this already pre-ground. And then we have salt. And we're gonna do a nice even layer of salt across the whole thing. Make sure we don't miss any spots. Don't over season it, but don't be afraid. It's pork. It can be salty. It won't be bad. It'll just be like bacon. So now we're gonna roll it up real tight. We're gonna roll it tight, tight, tight. And I'm gonna tie it up with string. This is exactly how I would do a prime rib, basically. Doing a slip knot. Make a loop, make a slip knot, and then you're gonna slide that onto the meat. That slip knot will hold in place. So now you pull it tight on the meat, and it's gonna lock itself in place. Then you wrap another loop twice with your hand, double that, slide it on. Now the reason you do that double spin is so that now it's gonna lock it in. See how it locks it in? And you just do that along the whole thing, and you just keep locking it down. And you'll see as it goes, it becomes a perfectly nice, tight, round, skin-wrapped pork loin. You know, it's not exactly traditional porchetta. I didn't have the ingredients and I didn't have the belly, but this loin is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to wrap it over the top just to tighten it front to back as well. Because I'm not going to tighten it too hard here because if you compress it too much, it'll bulge out the sides. And I'm just going to even everything out. Tie it off so it does a perfect circle all the way around, tightening the front to back. Again, this is exactly the same as I would do a prime rib if I were going to do an entire prime rib. And then I'm going to give it a little bit, straighten out the lines a little bit. And then we're going to put it in the fridge. I'm going to wrap it up tight in plastic, put it in the fridge overnight, and we're going to cook it tomorrow. Let's get this porchetta on the smoker. Right now I've got the smoker at 400. It's raging pretty hot in there. We're trying to get the skin to get crunchy, so we're going to start it out as hot as we can get it without burning it. I'm just going to put the porchetta in here lengthwise. I'm going to rotate it throughout the cook. As I see the skin changing color and cooking, I rotate it. As you can see, it's smoking nice. It's really hot. We're running the first hour probably right now at 400 degrees. And it's getting crunchy. It's getting nice. We're getting some really nice color on there. I'm going to rotate it a little bit. I'm going to move it around. I'm going to let it slow cook for a little while. This is hour 1. As you can see, I'm still running a pretty big flame. I'm going to let that burn down right now. Now, this is 4 hours later. It's about 145 to 150 internal, depending on where you temp it. We're going to take it to rest right now, and we're going to cut it open, take a look, and see how it came out. Okay, here's a quick 30 seconds on mashed potatoes. Handful of salt in there. This is about 5 or 6 potatoes, yellow, like golden potatoes, skin on. Cut them up, boiled them. Whole stick of butter. The butter is the key to the mashed potatoes. You want the best mashed potatoes? You want people to go, oh my God, your mashed potatoes are amazing. It's the butter. You put enough butter in, then take another half a stick of butter and put it in there too. And that's the secret. Salt and butter and a decent potato. These I'm going to leave chunky, just a rustic fork mash. Really good. So clearly, this has turned out very, very beautiful looking. As you can see, the ends are really nice color. The skin is just crispy, cooked. It peels away. I don't want to peel it away too much because I'm trying to keep this in a roll. I've let this rest for about 10 minutes now. I'm going to cut the string off of it right now. Then we're going to get a close-in shot. I'm going to cut right down the middle of it. I'm probably going to let it rest another 10 minutes before I cut through the middle of it. But I figure we take the string off right now and just kind of see how it's probably not going to just open up right when you take the string off, but it's still kind of holding itself together. And as you can see where I cut the skin, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I wish that wasn't there. This would be a perfect roll of skin right here if I hadn't slashed this, but accidents happen and I don't think it'll make it any less delicious. So we're gonna let this rest just for a couple more minutes. And I mean, take a look at that underneath. I mean, that's just really, really good. So we're gonna let it rest for a little bit longer, then I'm gonna get a close-up video of me cutting into it. I recommend cutting on a sheet tray. This is gonna be super juicy. I'm gonna keep this covered for the bugs because this is the jungle and we've got lots of bugs. So, but like keep it on tray, cutting board in the tray because this is gonna be juicy. Let's take a look at this finished product now. It's had a moment to sit. Look at the skin, it just peels right away. The fat underneath has rendered perfectly. The ends are really nicely smoked. Everything's nicely smoked. Obviously that split on the top is not ideal, but it is what it is. So this is after a while that I've rested it, and now I'm going to cut it in half, and we're going to take a look inside and see what it looks like. I have it covered to protect it from the insects, but here it is. We'll talk about the good and the bad here as we go. As you can see, I had to move it to cut it through the skin. I think that if I do this in the future, I'll do it in the oven, and I'll start at about 450, roast the skin till it's crispy, and then slow roast the rest, because smoking it did not get the skin to a crispy, crunchy, edible place, unfortunately. Everything else came out beautiful. The seasoning was delicious. The garlic content, the salt content, it all came out really, really nice. As you can see, it's just dripping juicy. Everything rendered perfect. The fat rendered perfect. It really came out beautifully. Unfortunately, the skin, as you'll see in a second, is pretty much went to my dogs. We could probably toast it up more and eat it, but for right now, you can't even really cut it with a knife without really working, see? So unfortunately, everything else was perfect, but the skin just didn't come out. All in all, this dish came out really, really well. The mashed potatoes are delicious, super buttery, really nice. The porchetta is juicy, delicious, smoky flavored. The seasoning took overnight and really absorbed into the meat really well. It really tasted delicious. Short of the skin not being crunchy, this is pretty perfect. I really enjoyed it. Hope you do too.